Welcome into the Commanders Report Mailbag. I am your host, Jack Sperry, and these are my favorite segments to do every single week. We haven't done one in about a month, but it's about time to get to a Commanders Report Mailbag here, guys, because a lot has happened over the last month. The Laramie Tunsil trade, NFL free agency, all this different stuff. It's time that I take your questions. So before we get into them today, subscribe to the channel because we have the most interactive Washington Commanders fan community anywhere on YouTube, and it's 100% free to join our family today. We do these weekly mailbags here on the channel, and then we also have posts going out on our community tab on this channel every single day where you guys can share your take on all of the top topics surrounding the Washington Commanders this offseason. So if you want to join us for an awesome offseason this year, of course, the NFL Draft is coming up in just a couple short weeks. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now. And, of course, join us for our Commanders Report live shows every single Wednesday to get your question on these mailbags. We'll start with Merle Garrett here, $2 super chat. What's up, Merle? Says, would Washington go after T.J. Watt in a trade? The Steelers made him available, absolutely. All right, this is the same argument for why they were in on Myles Garrett, why they are still in on Trey Hendrickson, and why they would be in on T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt is a Defensive Player of the Year perennial candidate, all right? He has won one. He probably should have won multiple. This guy is an absolute technician at the position. When he is healthy, he's arguably the best defensive player in football. All right, and that's including guys like Micah Parsons and Myles Garrett and all the elite of the elites. All right, TJ is somebody that is just an absolute technician, can beat you in so many different ways, has the best cross chop in the game. So if he becomes available and the Steelers say, you know what, we're going to trade him, and by the way, that's not going to happen before the season. They're going to go into the year with T.J. Watt, but maybe at the trade deadline, like let's say they get Aaron Rodgers, he stinks it up. The team stinks, they're not going to be in playoff contention, and they need to unload some of their players, and they don't want to pay T.J. Watt $40 million per season. In that case, I think that the Commanders would be very interested in getting T.J. Watt on their football team. Awesome player. It's going to cost you a lot. It's going to cost you at least a first-round pick, but with the Commanders already having their quarterback in Jaden Daniels, and they're trying to win right now, I don't think they'll have any issue parting with at least one first-round pick to get T.J. Watt in their building. Then we got one from your boy Football Elite. It says, in which order of positions should we take in the draft? It really does depend on how the board falls here, your boy Football Elite, but probably ideally you go like edge and safety in the first couple of rounds. Then you go wide receiver or corner in the middle rounds, and then you finish out with an inside linebacker prospect in the later rounds or something like that. But obviously, it depends on which players fall to you. It depends how the board falls. But ideally, I would probably rank the needs that way, where it's like safety, you need a strong safety, and you need a designated pass rusher along the edge for pass-heavy downs. Those are the two things you need in this draft, in my opinion. Then you would like another receiver, and you would like a corner for the future. But those are kind of lesser needs, in my opinion, than safety and edge. Then, inside linebackers one where you don't necessarily need it right now, but Bobby Wagner's not getting any younger, right? So you would like to have somebody that has some potential to kind of build around him that's not tiny Jordan McGee. I love McGee, by the way. He's great. He's gonna be a really good third down inside linebacker for pass coverage for the Commanders this year, but he's not a 3-down guy. So if you could get somebody in the later rounds that you think could fill almost like an early down thumper type of role, like a Danny Stutzman out of Oklahoma, for example, a Kobe King out of Penn State, those are two guys to keep your eye on in the later rounds. I think that would probably be the sequencing that I would be looking for if I'm a Commanders fan. So tell me down there in the comment section, name a player you want the Commanders to draft this year. It could be any round. It can be a sleeper. It could be a first-round draft target, whatever you guys want. Let me know down there in the comment section. Name a player you want the Commanders to draft. This will be the pinned comment on today's show, so YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time. But let me know a player in this year's draft that you want the Commanders to take. Then we got one from Jake Chrisley here. Says, who will be the true number 2 receiver? So it's going to be Deebo Samuel. But obviously, he's not like a traditional number 2 that's like lining up on the outside, on the other side of Terry McLaurin. He's going to be all over the place. He'll line up outside, but he'll also line up in the slot. He'll line up in the backfield. They're going to use him on motion and all this different stuff. And he's going to be kind of the distraction piece that's going to be moving all over the place. The defense is going to be, where's Debo? And then all of a sudden, Terry McLaurin is taking a touchdown 40 yards on your ass. So I think that Debo is the true number 2 right now. Noah Brown certainly isn't above him on the depth chart. Luke McCaffrey certainly isn't above him on the depth chart. Now, if they get a receiver in round 1, then it might start to be a conversation, especially if Debo starts to underperform during the season. But right now, it's no doubt about it. Debo Samuel is the number 2 receiver of this football team. King Hypno says, who are you taking if both are available? Donovan Ezeiraku or James Pearce Jr.? I'm taking James Pearce Jr. because Ezeiraku has some excellent production. I love him. All right, if the Commanders took him, I'd be okay with it. But James Pearce Jr. and also King, it does depend on the reports I'm getting from my area scouts and the interviews I'm having with James. If I don't get a good vibe from James as a person, I'm taking Ezeiraku. But if I'm fine with the person and I believe in the person that is James Pearce Jr., he's just so goddamn explosive, man. And he's got some great power at 245 pounds, which is rare for a guy that size. He's got really great speed, some great versatility. He can be probably, to start the season, your designated pass rusher, and then maybe by season's end, he's your number 1 every down edge rusher, and he's going to be that for the next decade. He's that special of an athlete, and then he's got multiple ways to beat you. He's a top 3 edge rusher in this class, in my opinion. Ezeiraku, for as technically sound he is and as much attention to detail he has in his rushing ability, he's not the greatest athlete. I think that his ceiling is a little bit lower than James Pearce Jr. So if you're looking for a true number 1, I think Pearce has more true number 1 upside. So if it's between Ezeiraku and Pearce, I'm probably taking Pearce. Now, before we get into the rest of your questions today, you guys can get a brand new, officially licensed 2025 NFL draft hat for your Washington Commanders. They got 2 different colorways and a bunch of different bill styles for you guys to choose from. If you like flat bills, they got flat bills. If you like snapbacks, they got flat snapbacks. If you like the curved bill, they got the curved bill. Whatever you guys want, you can go chatsports.com/2025draft to get your Commanders draft hat today. This is the official one right here. This is the one, the black design here with the burgundy brim that the draft picks are going to be wearing this year, just so you guys know. But you guys can go chatsports.com/2025draft. I personally have the off-white color one coming my way. I love the gold trimming that they have on that one with the bill. So whatever color you guys like, you guys can get it right now at chatsports.com/2025draft to get this awesome draft hat in your closet today. Jaden Sports says, if Malaki Starks and Nick Emmanwori are both there and there are no good edges are available, what do you do? So pretty much saying between Nick Emmanwori and Malaki Starks, which one do I like better? I think the Commanders would disagree with me. I like Malaki Starks more. Now, Starks is not the physical freak Emmanwori is in terms of just pure testing numbers, but Starks reminds me a lot of Brian Branch from a couple seasons ago, and honestly, he has better ball skills than Brian Branch has. They just play the game so fast, and mentally speaking, physically speaking, they got super quick feet, and they're great in coverage, great zone eyes, read the eyes of the quarterback extremely well. And then in Malaki Starks' case, he's got really rare ball skills, so he's going to get a lot of interceptions for you if he's on your football team. And he can play free safety, he can play in the box, he can play in the slot. Georgia asked their safeties to play everywhere, so Starks played everywhere. If you want him to be your starting slot corner and you want to stick Mike Samerstroh on the outside, you can certainly do that. If you want Malaki Starks to be your box safety, he can do that. If you want him to be your free safety, I think he can do that. I think he probably fits best as a true nickel defender, though, which is why I think that the Commanders would rather have Nick Emmanwori because he's got more size to him. He's got more straight line speed to him. He's more of a true box safety, which is what I think Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. are looking for. So I think that they would take Emmanwori, even though I have the higher grade on Malaki Starks. Then we got one from Jasmine Gray. It says, I have a question for you, Jack. It is Washington Commanders will trade Trey Hendrickson or draft an edge rusher. I think they'd prefer to trade for Trey. I think that, this is a team that's trying to win now. and a true number one edge rusher and somebody that just led the league in sacks is going to be a much better bet than drafting an edge rusher even in round 1. Because, no matter how good an edge rusher is, even if you take Abdul Carter, it's at least a little bit of a projection, right? They don't have any NFL experience. With Trey Hendrickson, he just led the league in sacks last year, all right? So, and he's got great size. He can defend the run. He's got everything that you want. So I think Trey Hendrickson, even if it costs you your first-round pick this year, or maybe even a little bit more than that, and then it's going to cost you definitely in excess of over $35 million per season on his contract, I think it's worth it because you're not paying your quarterback anything, so you can afford to pay your number one edge rusher some money. And you're just not going to find anybody that's as much of a day one impact as Trey is in the draft, most likely. So I think that if you have the opportunity to get him, I absolutely would. It certainly seems like Trey and the Bengals are certainly not on great footing right now. We never know what's going to happen. They were able to pay Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, so maybe they find some way to get some cash to pay Trey here. We'll see how that entire situation plays out. But if I had the choice between Trey Hendrickson or drafting an edge rusher, it's not even close. I'm taking the veteran. We got one from Billy Dixon here. It says, who do you think we could get that's a speedy back? I think he's talking about running backs here. And Billy, right now, I think the Commanders actually kind of like their running back room. They've got Brian Robinson Jr., who's not speedy, but he's pretty well-rounded. Then you've got Austin Ekeler, who's kind of more of a speed back that's lost a little bit of a step, but he's still a pretty darn good player, great instincts. Then you got Chris Rodriguez Jr. and Jeremy McNichols as your two kind of, backups, so to say. Could they go out and get a running back? Yeah, I would say it's more likely in the later rounds than in the earlier rounds. I'd say sometime on day 3, maybe they could get Jaden Blue out of Texas. That's certainly an option that they could look at. Or maybe Bashal Tutin out of Virginia Tech if he starts to fall. But I think it's possible, Billy. But I honestly think that they like their running back room with Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Ekeler. And then I think they like Chris Rodriguez Jr. as well as a third back. So I honestly, I'm not sure they're going to take a running back this year. I'd be fine if they do, and I think it'll be in the later rounds if they do. But I honestly don't think the Commanders are that keen on taking a running back, particularly early in this year's class. So let me know down there in the comment section. What's Washington's biggest need in the NFL draft this year? Is it edge rusher? Is it safety? Is it corner? Is it receiver? Is it running back? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. For me, I don't think it's close. I think you need to find a designated pass rusher along the defensive line at the edge rusher position. Now, make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really do appreciate all of the questions. Thank you guys so much for donating to the channel. I'll see you guys next time. And until then, to the Commanders.